Good morning. Today, July 8th, 2021. This is recording number 230, entitled, Lord, if it be thee. Lord, if it really be thee. We're told the story of a man who came to notoriety as the Savior of all mankind. Remember now, this is a story that we're told. It is reported that he grew up just as a regular citizen, not known for much, just like we are. We are told that he resigned his profession as a carpenter and became a form of investment broker, and I use that term, investment broker, I use that lovingly and favorably, promising the abundant multiplication of grace and peace to all that could see the stupendous benefits of his proposition to mankind. I'll repeat that. We are told that he resigned his profession as a carpenter and became a form of investment broker, promising the abundant multiplication of grace and peace to all that could see the stupendous benefits of his proposition. And here's a man that's building houses and looks out on humanity and says, I know what y'all need. At some point in time, you're going to feel like you're in it and you can't find your way left, right, down, or up. You don't know where you are. And it seems like you have no control. And someone is always telling you, go this way, go that way. But I have a proposition that if you can see this, it will yield grace and peace multiplied beyond measure, with fragments left over so much that you will have to share these with your fellow man. Those listening were told that if they could see the benefits, just a simple glimpse would automatically exude from their heart, Lord, if it be thee, bid me come to you. Just a simple glimpse would cause the heart to scream out, Lord, if it be thee, bid me come. Now keep in mind, this is a story. This is a story now. None of us have met this man. None of us have actually seen what the stories say he did. None of us have actually experienced this grace and peace multiplied, and yet there are those who write records and speak back over time and say, I invested in this, and it's true. Now we're taking the word of another person who we don't know that's saying, truly, this man is the Son of God. And who the Son sets free shall be free indeed. Grace, divine favor, unmerited favor, and peace that surrounds my heart and all of the things that concern me be multiplied. They are multiplied in my life. These are the witnesses that are writing back to us to say, make the investment. It's worth it. But have we seen that glimpse that says, Lord, if it be thee, bid me come? One man even wrote back and said, men ought always to pray and faint not. So he's telling us that the answer to this situation, this environment, these happenings, all these things that we find ourselves citizens of or encapsulated in, he says prayer is the answer. Men ought always pray and not faint. So he's telling us that there is something called prayer that will cause us to realize grace, divine, unmerited favor. And peace means no concerns for what is going on around us will be multiplied. Be multiplied to you. The strange thing about the investment's yield is that we are required to leave all, drop our life, and follow him. And do all of this based on the writings and records of others that we have never spoken with. Wow. And he says that the ultimate yield of this investment, get this now, was that he would make us fishers of men. This would fulfill us with a life more abundant. That's strange, isn't it? I'm going to invest my life and all that I have into this man and what he is promising, and he's going to make me fishers of men. And he tells me that we would be totally satisfied with this yield. Isn't that amazing? And yet, there are the writings of those who say they made the investment, they were made fishers of men, and they're satisfied. Life fulfilled. Now, my question is this investment worth giving up all your dreams, all your aspirations, turning away from terrorizing appearances with a trust in someone you've never met, placing your attention on a promise that is said to provide fields white? Look up, he said, look up. The fields are already white to harvest. Pray that your Father send workers into the field to become fishers of men. Can we get beyond fear, unbelief, uncertainty, and hear our heart cry out, Lord, if it be thee, bid me come? Look at the amount of faith that is required to take people's word that's over 2,000 years old and pour everything that we have into that. As I looked for a word last night to comfort me and hopefully comfort my family, I was up till about 1 o'clock until finally I just said, Lord, I need a word. And it wasn't until I went to bed, and whether I was asleep or not, I don't know. But it seems like I did not sleep at all, and yet I know I did. And the word came to me, they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall rise up with wings of eagles. They shall walk and not faint. They shall run and not be weary. And that word stayed with me all night until I awakened this morning. And I went and I said, let me find where that is. And I found it was the whole chapter, Isaiah chapter 40. And it began with comfort ye one another. Now, these are words written even more than 2,000 years ago, stating that if we were to wait on the Lord. So then I went and looked up that word, and it's a Hebrew word, kavah, Q-A-V-A-H, which has multiple meanings, but in all of the meanings, it means, in all of the interpretations, it's saying those that wait expectantly, patiently for a gathering. And I went, oh my goodness. They shall renew their strength. And what came to me is that we are literally living in an environment where we have no control over anything. We think we do. We act like we do. We talk as if we do. But how many times do we go to bed uncomfortable? We end the day not confident that prayer is the answer. How many stories have been told us out of fear to push us to get saved, as they say? Or stories that are told us, don't worry about it, God understands. Or the old wives' fables, or the old grandmother, grandfather tales that tell us God is, God is okay, God is this, and yet we've not truly made the investment. The investment has to be made, and it has to be made by the individual. Lord, if you can actually give me this peace, bid me come. We look at the story where it says that Jesus is standing there with his disciples, and he tells them, you guys get in the boat and go to so-and-so, I'll meet you there. I'm going to dismiss the people. I talked about this about a week ago. The people he had just fed, the 5,000. I'm going to dismiss them. Immediately, my mind says, you sent the disciples in the boat. You dismissed the 5,000 people. And it says he went into a high mountain. And my question was, why did he have to go anywhere when he was there alone? Why couldn't he just stay there on the seashore? Well, I understand that what he's saying is he went high in consciousness and meditation to get ready for whatever was coming next. And along about the fourth watch of the day, which was the next morning, his disciples saw him walking on the water. And as he was walking on the water, 10 of them, I believe, became fearful. It doesn't really say what happened to John. We know that John believed in Jesus, but one stood up and looked out because he caught a glimpse of grace. He caught a glimpse of favor, and his heart screamed out. The world disappeared from around him. The ugliness, what did he do? He turned from the negative, terrorizing appearances that were facing him. He gave up his dreams of being a fisherman, he placed his attention on the one who had made the promise of fields white, and his heart spoke, Lord, if that be you, bid me come. Are we actually sitting and contemplating moving into an investment that others are telling us it's worth it? He said that whoever makes the investment and follows decisively, he would liken this one to one who built his house on a rock. And as the storms of life come, and they surely will, this house will stand. We hear once again him speaking to those which he loved. And he asked them a question. Y'all know how it is when people talk about you, but they won't talk about you to you. They talk about you to other people, whether good or bad. They talk about you to other people. So a lot of times you don't hear what they're saying. And he says, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they all began to tell the stories of what people were saying. And he said, but who do you say I am? And Peter spoke up and said, I say, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. See, his heart had caught a glimpse of something beyond this man that was standing there. And his heart said, Lord, I see who you are. Bid me come. You see, Jesus had come to this planet, and every time he talked to people, if you go read the stories, he's already telling them how well invested God has put his investment in them. Why do you have little faith, O you sons of God? You are the light of the world, you sons of God. Be not afraid. The Father loves you with a love divine, O you sons of God. A city on a hill cannot be hidden, O you sons of God. He's telling them from the beginning that God has already made an investment. Are we willing to look at the words that those who are writing from thousands of years ago just saying, make the investment? Or are we trying to pinch from the investment? Are we trying to put pieces of the investment in a life that we're trying to live, hoping that it'll all turn out and that it will be pleasing? Every day I have to witness people back-talking, people backstabbing, people judging. And I ask, Lord, where is this coming from? And don't get me wrong, I'm as guilty as the next person that's doing this. But now I am recognizing that this is not right. And it hit me. People have formed a God in their image and in their likeness, and they are judging other people based on what they believe this God is going to do to those people when those people come to the end of their lives and come to a judgment. What have they done? They've created God in their image and likeness, and they have dropped all of the things that they have done, believing that I'm okay, but I'm telling you, you're not. They're living with the God of the Old Testament, a punishing God, A God that says, I love you, but if you don't do what I say, I'm going to burn you forever. I love you, but if I'm going to give you free will, but if you don't choose what I've placed over here for you, it's going to be really, really hard for you. We need to get away from that God because we have created a God in our image and in our likeness, and we are treating one another the way we believe this God is going to treat them, and yet we let ourselves off the hook. Whoever makes the investment, he said, he would liken unto one who built his house on a sound foundation. And when Peter said, I know who you are, Jesus said, tell no man. For it was my Father that has revealed this to you. And upon that rock, upon that revelation, get that now, upon that revelation, this story will stand forever. Wow. And what did the church take it? The scholars of long ago? That Jesus was going to build a church based on Peter. And Peter was going to be the doorkeeper to determine who could get in and who wouldn't. It's written. Peter stated that the investment revealed to him the Christ of God. He speaks again across thousands of years that he who promised will naturally provide all things as naturally as day follows night. Can your heart see and cry out, Lord, Lord, if that be true, bid me come. You see, it's up to us to see what is being given us. Can our heart see it based on writings from yesteryear? We read a lot of stories of some who purportedly made the investment, and they write records encouraging us to make the investment. They make a bold statement. As he is in the world, so are we. Telling us he's still here. His presence is always with us. His presence will be with us, and it will take care of us. They're telling us that we are carrying about within us, although we don't know it, we are carrying about his dying, that we were buried with him in death, and this burial provided us with a newness of life. Will we see enough to believe and cry out, Lord, Lord, if that be true, bid me come? Are we willing to take these people's word? And they're telling us, oh, he's here, and he will never leave you. He will never forsake you. Just come to him. Come as you are. It is a journey that each individual must undertake, an investment that reveals a consciousness of divine substance. This is the benefit. A consciousness of divine substance, which he referred to as Father. Paul referred to it as the Christ. It's a natural flow that meets the need of all mankind. Paul at one point said, I come to a place of decision. I don't know whether to stay here or to leave. But it's better for me that if I stay for you. And my point is, where did he get the understanding that he could just choose to leave or stay? It came from somewhere. And because he had that, he said, it's more mindful for me that I stay here. So I'm going to stay for a while. But then he told us this consciousness will be with you forever. But if you do not develop it, we are warned that we will work needlessly and unsuccessfully with vain requests that will never yield reliable dividends. We are not supposed to go to sleep at night worried about what's going to happen. We're not supposed to walk around and constantly talk about how good God is when inside we're balled up in knots. We're supposed to be assured that as day follows night, that the glory, the love of God that is with us, that when Jesus died on that cross, we died with him. And when he arose 3 days later, we arose with him. That's why the scripture says, if the same spirit that raised him from the dead dwell in you, it will quicken your mortal bodies. He who the Son sets free is free indeed. Freedom comes by making the investment. Lord, if it be thee, bid me come. God bless you.